Lisa, don't you trust Larsa? What's good, everybody? Thank you all so much for clicking on the video. I really appreciate it. We are here today to talk about the Real Housewives of Miami Season 7, Episode 20, and this is Reunion Part 3. I cannot believe that I have literally reviewed a whole season of a housewife show doing pre-records. I cannot believe. But you know, this was a good season. This was a good season. I like Miami. I do think it's a whole bunch of bullying going on, or it's too cliquish over here. But I did enjoy the season. But let's go ahead and get into the episode. The episode started off where it left off the last episode, where a viewer wrote in that Larsa was harsh, saying that Lisa said that her dad would have wanted her to do what she does, and that's shine.
Who had been saying that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
Would he though? Would he? I think that's a cop-out. I think that's a cop-out. If it was your mama who raised you and she wanted you to walk a runway and she was lying on her deathbed, girl, you would have been by her side. You would not have been in Milan. You were where you wanted to be, and that's okay. You feel like your daddy didn't really play a significant role in your life, and he was where he wanted to be, so I get it. But just say that. I think it would be different if this was like a highly prestigious honor, or she had to walk, or like a once-in-a-lifetime fashion show that she had to walk in. But wasn't she really late in the lineup? Let's just say if she was in the WNBA and it was the game for the championship and he was on his deathbed and she said he would have wanted her to play. I can understand something like that, right? But she didn't have to walk number 46 on a runway show with 60 people. That was something that you wanted to do. It was not something that you had to do. And I think it was ego-driven. And this was probably, I don't really know a lot about Lisa's background, but it was something probably that she just wanted to do for her ego. And she didn't really care about her daddy being in the hospital. And that's okay. You did what you wanted to do. Lisa says not only did the girls pile up on her, nobody asked her how she was doing with the death of her dad. Now, I must say, I totally forgot that Lisa's daddy died at the beginning of the season. For me, it makes the women look even worse. This girl lost her daddy and y'all trying to browbeat her into unfollowing Marcus.
What kind of bullshit is that?
Like, what are we talking about? But Lisa, you can't have it both ways. You wasn't down, out, and distraught. You went to Milan when he passed away, so everybody probably thought that you didn't care. But I do have enough life experience to know, and I'm sure they know because they're older than me, that Lisa probably thought that she was going to feel a certain type of way when her daddy passed. And once it actually happened, it changed. You don't really know how you will feel about something until it actually happens. And so I can understand both sides. Lisa said when Alexia's mama died, she threw a party for her and she was unable to make it. And then Kiki gonna say, so we comparing grief. Fuck up! Nobody is comparing grief. But I think what she was trying to say is when your mom died, I got the girls together to show you compassion and sisterhood. Now, I will say this, though. I do remember Alexia calling Lisa and telling her if she needed anything to call her when she invited her to, I believe it was Marysol's wedding. She said that her dad died and she was like, let me know if you need anything. And I do believe that that was really genuine and sincere from Alexia. Lisa ended up sending a picture of her dead daddy to Larsa.
You can't do that.
I don't understand that at all. I do not understand. That's some nasty work. They ended up going back and forth, and at some point, Alexia ended up saying enough is enough.
See, that's a dirty ass bitch right there.
That is so insensitive. And as much as Alexia runs around crying about Frankie and trying to weaponize him against people,
your child is broken.
Then running around crying about Tom, she got some fucking nerve to be sitting up here talking about enough is enough. I think that the girls aren't really used to someone who would take it there with them. Because when I got through with Alexia, she'll be calling me sir every time she addressed me. And I think that we kind of got it. I think that we got some get right. And I have to admit, and I like Alexia, I do believe that we got some get right, some act right out of her from Stephanie. Stephanie kind of put her in her place a little bit. And I got to be honest about that.
I always keep shit real. Ain't no fucking lie over here.
Because she was looking like a punk ass bitch in the middle of this reunion. Then they get to talking about Jody. Now, at Marysol's wedding party that Lisa was unable to attend because of her dad's funeral, Lisa said that Larsa insinuated that Jody was on something when she told the girls how upset he got in Milan. And she said that it was pre-planned. Now, I didn't think that initially. In hindsight, I can see it. But the fact that they planned and did that when Lisa was out burying her daddy, again, that tells a lot about the girls in this group. I just think that that is nasty. Larsa said that they thought that he was on something because at the party at their condo, he kept talking about the AC and they went into the room. Now, I do remember that being a conversation on Twitter. People were saying that him and his homeboys went in his bedroom to do coke.
Don't try me.
But I think that they probably just didn't want to be drinking and doing stuff like that in front of the Bravo cameras. I don't know if I really thought it had something to do with the AC, but I do remember it being a conversation online on Twitter about them probably doing some drugs in the bedroom. But let's go ahead and knock Lisa and Larsa out real quick. Lisa said on stage that they have been nice when she and Jody almost broke up because of his reputation on the show taking a hit. And I wish Lisa wouldn't have said that to them because now the women know where to attack. Larsa ended up coming into the dressing room and she ended up apologizing to Jody for dragging him into the situation. She said that she didn't mean to and it wasn't his fault. You meant it and you knew what you were doing. I think that Andy and the network need to do something about the women attacking the boyfriends and the husband of the show because it ultimately just hurts the show and the franchise. I think that's the reason why a lot of high-profile men won't allow their wives to be on the Real Housewives because even if they faithful and not cheating, even if all of their money is legit, even if they're great dads and taking care of their kids, if the women say anything on camera about them, a storyline can be made and that will kill their character and their reputation. It's just not working. And you can have no proof and there will still be people out there who will believe whatever is being said. I'm sure people still believe that Chris got Giselle into their hotel room to see if she was quote unquote with it and believe that Chris is a sneaky link.
No, ma'am.
But there's no proof. But people are going to believe it just because she said it and because she said it on camera. Even though she apologized and said that, oh, all he did was make me feel uncomfortable. Girl, but that's only on you. And I love Giselle, but that's on you. You can't make me feel bad about something. Giselle was looking for a storyline. Lisa ended up telling Larsa that she almost broke her and Jody up. And she told her, if you love me, don't bring Jody into it. Keep it between me and you. And girl, that's too sweet. That's too, you gotta threaten her. You gotta threaten her because you being too sweet about it. You gotta let her know, bitch, the next time you bring up my husband, it's gonna be consequences.
You do it again, I'm gonna rock your world in this motherfucker. So rock it.
It's gonna be consequences. You don't give no hoe no power like that on you. Because that is what she's going to do to manipulate you. That's what she's going to do to manipulate you. Then they talk about Julia fueling the flames between Stephanie and Alexia in Spain. Did y'all notice the difference in the apology that Julia gave Stephanie and the one that she gave Gertie? It was almost like Andy didn't even ask her how did she feel about it. She just apologized and it was so sincere, but I don't think that she has given Gertie an apology like that. I don't think so.
Whack bitch.
Then they asked how come Julia wasn't mad that Marysol and Alexia didn't come to Marbella for the godparents' proposal. And she said that the trip to Seville was for Alexia and the trip to Marbella was for her and she wanted to concentrate on her. Because it came out that Alexia and Marysol tried to get everyone not to take the plane and to actually take a train. And Julia ended up getting on that plane. Just like Adriana talked about when they was in Marysol's at the party at Marysol house, the proper party at the house. She'll sell you under the bus. You let Stephanie dangle that plane over your head just for Stephanie to throw it in her face in the Sprinter on the way to the private jet. I will never forget that. I forget exactly what she said, but she threw it in your face. She threw it in Julia's face on the way to get to the private jet when they didn't make it that morning. And only thing that Julia could say was, really, Stephanie? Yes, bitch, really. You ain't gonna do shit because you want to get on that private jet. You didn't want to get on no train. And it shows that Julia is a girl who can be bought, which is why I believe everything Adriana said about her.
You miss the friendship or
When
you
you
miss my
leave a
pussy?
naked truce.
What do you miss?
What do I miss?
My sweet little pussy? She was trying to me in Spain. I'll never go for your dirty little whore.
So then Stephanie asks, is it really that bad to fly on Showman Air? Was the rules really that bad? The rules wasn't that bad. It was the way Stephanie behaved. The rules on the plane and how you wanted people to dress and not mess up the seats, and how you maybe didn't want people to use the restroom because it was a 22-minute flight, I can understand that. But girl, you passed out the invitations like they was permission slips. Because my whole thing is, you're giving out invitations as if everybody in the group is not invited on the plane. You're invited tomorrow. You invited tomorrow. Girl, if you're doing this for Julia, Julia wanted everybody there, then everybody was going to be there. But Julia was going to let you, and I don't feel like that we addressed this, and I felt like it made Lisa look a little stupid to me. They were planning on leaving Lisa in Seville. They was planning on leaving her in Seville. Stephanie wanted to leave Lisa there to please Larsa. And Julia was going to let them. As long as Julia was taking that plane to Marbella, she would have let it go down. She would have let it go down. And that's why she was passing out the permission slips. And Stephanie also wanted to dictate the way the people behaved on the plane. She wanted to dictate the way that they behaved. She did. Andy is asking if people would have got on the plane. Andy said that he would have got on the plane. If you asked me if I would have got on the plane.
No way. No way.
Hell no. And if she left me in Marbella, I would have got into the cockpit and tried to bust someone else out the cockpit. I would have. She could have even acted like she was gonna left me in Marbella, and I would have got on the private jet. I would have been scuffing the motherfucking seats up on the way back to Sevilla, just because she acted like she was gonna do it. Just because she acted like it. And Stephanie cool, but Stephanie was doing too much with the private jet. Stephanie was doing too much with the private jet. And again, for Lisa to be arguing is crazy, because Lisa, they was gonna leave you there. They wanted to leave you there. They didn't want you to get on the plane. They didn't want you to get on the plane. She didn't want you to get on the plane. And I think it's crazy how we didn't even address that. So then they played a twin game between Alexia and Marysol. And Andy asked, did Jody have Furby eyes?
What? What?
And there's a difference between people who review and recap the show, making comments, but I think that it's nasty for Andy and his staff to attack someone's physical appearance. It's part of a game. To me, I think that's nasty. I think that we don't know what Jody went through with his eyes growing up. The same thing is we don't know what's going on with Stacey in her breath. Now, it would be different if Jody talked about his eyes and he was given a nickname with his eyes. But to my knowledge, from what I've seen, and again, I watched season 5. That was when she was divorced to Lenny. He was at the reunion season 5. I did not watch season 6. So to my knowledge, his eyes only came up with the insinuation that he was doing drugs. So for y'all to bring it up in the game, to me, Andy, is nasty and tone deaf. Then we talk about Cake Gate. Remember, the cake said 32 times 2 minus 5 equals 59. Adriana is sitting up there crying.
Too much!
I do feel like Adriana said, don't throw me the party, so she shouldn't have been throwing the party. Marysol said that Adriana called her old hoe with old wrinkled knees. That's true. You did say that, Adriana. But what I love with Adriana is that she stood in it. Adriana said, yeah, I did. I was trying to hurt her because she was trying to ice me out the group. I love a girl that stand in it. And with her saying that this makes me like Adriana, because she's believable. Because she could have said, oh, I didn't. You get what I'm saying? She could have just lied to our face, but I believe what she's saying. Marysol is over there saying, I'm going to have to go and have knee surgery now because I'm insecure. We know that's a joke, right? But Kiki the lap dog is over there repeat, you guys, Marysol is going to have knee surgery now. Fuck up! She really getting on my nerves. She really getting on my nerves. I can't stand it. Then we get on Gertie. Truthfully, y'all, my heart breaks for Gertie. And I found myself almost in tears. You know, I'm a sensitive cancer. I was almost in tears. I can't imagine going through what she went through and then to be attacked and no one stand up for her. I am really taken aback by that. I am. What made it even more sadder to me was that the only way she was really able to get out how she felt in that moment was in therapy. The girls did not provide a safe space for her to fully express how she felt. And I will say this, Gertie, at some part of it was Gertie always trying to argue. So she does have to take ownership in that. She said that she decided not to get reconstruction surgery. She said that, you know, she just felt like that she needed to be thankful and that her boobs don't look that bad. Gertie, you was the best dressed girl at the reunion.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Be very clear.
You are rocking that bald head. I don't know if you want the hair in your head, but you rocking that bald head. You was the best dressed girl at the reunion. Gertie, you look damn good. You look damn good. Now, I don't know if y'all caught it, but when they showed Gertie package, they had a little screen at the bottom, and I read Alexia and Julia body language. That Alexia, that's a nasty bitch. That's a nasty bitch. She was looking, here we go again. You damn right, bitch. I'm gonna bring it up every time it come up. We talking about it every time, because I believe that if listen, I'm a black man in America, and I just got to be real. If Julia had just had cancer and beat cancer, and Gertie had threw some water on her, I believe that Gertie would have been walking off that yacht in handcuffs. I do believe that. It's different for us. We live in two totally different worlds. That's just the truth, baby. That's just the truth. She would have been walking out of there in handcuffs. And then Julia was following her around. Julia was chasing her around that yacht. She was. She was acting like a mad dog.
Miss Pages, you need to come up in here and get this rock wilder.
And I also, did y'all catch this? I think they just did Gertie's segment so Julia couldn't apologize again. Because as soon as she apologized, we went straight to commercial break. Then we get to Julia. Andy, you know how they do the little introduction? They refer to Jackson Lucas as two new birds.
I don't like that.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Two new birds. I already told you. She could, but see, and that's what I'm saying. Y'all told me this is what y'all told me. Y'all told me I was reaching. She was saying that her form or something, her tagline, my form or something is full, and all of this other type of shit. And now they calling them kids birds. Andy is asking why the girls, what was so bad that the girls had a hard time accepting the brothers. She said they had 4 days before they had to go and get the boys. They had no warning. In 4 days that y'all had to go and get the boys, what was most important in calling Vicka and Emma? What was more important than the two kids that you already have? I would think that soon as y'all got the call that y'all were going to adopt these kids, or y'all had 2 kids to adopt, I would think that the next 2 phone calls y'all make was to Vicka and Emma. Who the fuck else is y'all calling? I watched, I'm gonna do a separate video, but I watched Tammy and Jazz over on this new YouTube show that Candy and Riley got called The Birds Banter. And it came out that Jazz and Lyrica, Tammy's daughters, weren't at Tammy's wedding to Reggie.
You a motherfucking liar. You knew that?
And Tammy was like, well, there were circumstances that had to do with this. Yeah, girl, I don't give a damn what you talking about. If you wanted your daughters at that wedding, you only got 2 kids. If you wanted your kids at that wedding, you could get in contact with your kids and get them to their wedding. You only got 2 kids. You could have got them kids at that wedding if you really wanted them to. Point blank, period. If you didn't want to say I do until my kids got there, I'm not saying I do until my kids got there. There's nothing that Tammy can say to me or she can explain that will make me believe, girl, please. And the same thing with Julia them. Who are the 2 other phone calls that y'all were making in 4 days that y'all could not contact Vicka and Emma and let them know what was going on? I don't get it. I just don't get it. She said that Vicka has met the boys, but Emma have not met them yet, but she has FaceTime. Andy asked, a viewer wrote in that Julia and Martina are old.
You are too old.
What's going to happen if something happened to them? Julia said that she talked to the girls about raising Jackson Luca if something was to happen to them, and they will because they're brothers.
Got it. Okay.
I don't share nothing.
I don't know if I'm 100% confident that that'll happen. I think that it's probably in the will that the money should be used to ensure that the kids, Jackson Luca, are raised. And I'm worried about the boys because it's not because they're black. It just seems like the girls aren't interested. And this is the story that Julia painted to us. And if they're not, just let them go somewhere where they'll be loved and it won't be a burden on them. Because it's clear to me that these are Martina kids and Martina wanted these kids, right? So I feel like there's someone from Martina's side of the family should get the kids. Because I don't think that the girls even like Martina. And I haven't seen any one-on-one time with Julia and the boys. And so I feel like that these are Martina kids. I think that I really do feel like that Julia feel like, oh, I don't raise mine. I'm not going through this little process again. She probably doing it because Martina got the purse or the wallet. I must say, Julia didn't do a good job at representing or presenting a safe environment for the boys to me. This whole storyline that Julia had with Vika and Emma and Martina, it doesn't seem like a safe space for the boys because you guys are older. And if I'm worried if something happened to you, what would happen to the boys? Because wasn't that the whole reason that you went over there to Marbella anyway? To make sure that those men was going to be the godparents? So when do they come into the picture? I don't know. I just assume that that's what godparents are supposed to do. Then they get on Marysol. Marysol is selling her mama house. She said that her mom would have loved Steve, but she believed that her mom picked Steve. Then they showed a clip of Alexia. Alexia looked like a punk ass bitch. She did. And y'all know I like Alexia, but it made her like a punk ass bitch. She threw Marysol way under the bus. She was telling Stephanie that I did not want to not get on the plane. I wanted to get on the plane. I said, please, Marysol, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Girl, you look like a punk ass bitch.
Hey, you're weak, honey.
Stephanie said that since she's been on the show, it's been hard for her to listen to the public backlash. And she said that Marysol has sent her every negative article that they had out there about her.
She's not safe. I don't agree with that.
I would have to question that friendship. Because if you're only sending me negative stuff and not the positive, what are you doing? What are you trying to do? She said that she was just trying to let her know what was out there. Marysol said that she was just trying to let her know what was out there about her. And that Stephanie could have told her, don't send it to me. But do I got to, though? Like, I feel like when sometimes people send me text messages and stuff like that or whatever, like, you don't want to be rude. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's like, do I really got to? Just have some decorum. Why would you, if you sending me negative articles and I'm not replying, then you should pick up, okay, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Why would you send me some negative stuff? Why would you want to ruin my day like that anyway? Then they get to talking about Adriana and the ratchet and wretched. And Andy asks, who deserved most of the criticism? Marysol said probably her. Yes, I do. I believe that it was Marysol that deserved most of the criticism. To me, Adriana calling Kiki ratchet had racial undertones to it. I'm sorry, it do. It do. And for Marysol to come up with an explanation for Adriana and to say blame her accent, I think that that's dangerous. And I think that that tells a lot about Marysol. And I think that Kiki, I think that people need to, you got to watch Marysol. Kiki, you should be watching Marysol. Because everybody at that table knew that the backlash, the whoo that Gertie gave, because that was a racial undertone. Everybody at that table knew it was a racial undertone. So for you to try to cover it up, girl, what else you doing? What else you over there doing? Marysol apologized. She said that she didn't take Kiki into consideration, and that's the problem. That's the problem. You didn't take her into consideration. You was trying to make a deal. You was trying to make a deal with a racial undertone? So she called her a nigga. You was going to say, oh, no, just say, you know, nigga mean black in Spanish. Girl, no. 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 No! That was basically the end of the reunion. Andy asked what was the takeaways from the season. Try to bring in, you know, talk about the positivities from the season. What was the takeaway? Stephanie said that this is one of the best experiences of her life. It didn't feel devoid of her not having her sisters, but she's thankful. Lisa said that she has grown tremendously, and she has, y'all. Give it up.
Come on, give it up! Give it up! Give it up! Give it up! Give it up!
Give it up. She said that she's taking accountability. Alexia said that the most positive things for her this season was that the girls was there for her and that it was a true sisterhood. And she was saying a whole bunch of other shit, but I wasn't paying attention to it, baby, because Gertie got her back. Gertie got her back while she was talking. Gertie went and moved one of the pillows next to her to the side, baby, and pulled out her lip gloss, her lip chap, her lip balm, whatever you want to call it. And she started applying it, baby, and played her dust.
You want some lip chap?
And I loved it. I loved it. I just wish Gertie would tell them how she really feel. I don't fuck with y'all, and that's just it. But I feel like they're gonna probably try to ice her out the show. We already got Alexia, Marysol, Stephanie, and Larsa trying to be like this foursome. They gonna already be clicked up, and so it's just gonna be harder for her. So you know, I'm nosy, and so once they got up and Andy get up, you know, they have a mojito, so he gave them another mojito toward the end. And so I was paying attention to who was doing what, and you know what I'm saying, where everybody was going toward the end of the reunion. And Alexia did go over and she hugged and kissed Gertie. And I think that was genuine. I think that Alexia does wish that she would have done something when the drink was thrown on Gertie, but I think that she has too much pride to let herself get dragged about it. So she's going to fight back. She can say, oh, I should have done something and I was wrong, but she got too much pride. She got too much pride to get dragged about it. And I can understand it too. You're not gonna drag me now. Look, girl, I said I was sorry. I said I was sorry, girl. But girl, what did you do when they did it to you? Get what I'm saying? So I can kind of understand that, but I just hate that happened to Gertie. And she didn't feel like that she had nobody there for her. But y'all, that was the end of the episode, and this is the end of the season. I really enjoyed the show. If I had to pick a favorite of the show, I think it would be Adriana. I like Alexia, but I like Adriana. Oh, and I do believe that Adriana was trying to say wretched. I don't believe that she was trying to say ratchet. And I'm only basing that on how truthful she has been about things on the show, from what I've seen. And I'm only basing it on that. But she has been my favorite this season. If I had to get rid of anybody, it would be Julia.
Get that bitch out of here!
But y'all let me know in the comments if y'all had to rate this season from 1 through 10. What would y'all give the season, and who was your favorite housewife or friend this season, and who was the worst? And when I say worst, I mean which bitch you gonna get rid of. But thank y'all so much for clicking on the video. Thank y'all so much for riding this season out with me, y'all. I really appreciate the love and support, and I'll see y'all later. Adios.